Welcome back to the Malaysian Money Matters show. It's the 13th of January, 26. Today we're doing a deep dive for you into what's really moving the needle. We've got massive corporate mergers, a really critical legal fight in the energy sector.
And we can't ignore the global picture. Some really volatile political events, especially out of the U.S., are making waves.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get right into it. First up, the M&A blockbuster. Sunway has put an offer on the table to acquire IJM Corp.
And it's a big one. $11 billion in a cash and share deal.
Right, and that's a 14.5% premium over IJM's last traded price. So is this just a big number, or does this really change the landscape?
Oh, absolutely changes the game. I mean, if this goes through, you're looking at the birth of a major infrastructure and property powerhouse.
So not just bigger, but fundamentally different.
Exactly. It's about achieving a scale you need to compete regionally. The potential gross development value, the GDV, could hit $118.1 billion.
Wow.
And their outstanding construction jobs would jump to $13 billion. That's serious scale.
And crucially, they get those infrastructure assets. We're talking about the toll concessions, BESRAYA, NPE, LEKAS, the WCE.
Yes, and those aren't just roads. They are long-term, stable cash generators. It diversifies the entire group's risk profile. A very smart move.
Okay, so a huge move there. Now, speaking of stable ground, that brings us to the energy sector, where things are a bit less certain.
With PETRONAS.
That's right. They've filed an originating motion with the federal court. They want clarity on this conflict between the Federal Petroleum Development Act of '74 and Sarawak's Gas Ordinance from 2016. What's the urgency here?
It's all about legal certainty. You can't make huge long-term investments without it.
Of course.
And things really came to a head when the state-owned Petros refused to pay for gas supplied back in August 2024.
Citing licensing issues under that state ordinance, right?
Exactly. So PETRONAS needs the federal court to draw a clear line. They have to know which law governs their operations in Sarawak to avoid this kind of gridlock. It's critical for their projects.
Makes sense. Okay, shifting gears a little. Bursa Malaysia is trying to shine a light on some other strong companies.
Yeah, with the new Quality 50 Index and the BESRAYA version as well.
And these are for companies outside the main KLCI index.
All right. The goal is to give visibility to companies with strong fundamentals. They're measured by things like profitability, ROE, return on equity, and a solid capital structure.
And at the same time, we're seeing an IPO from One Gasmaster Holdings.
Yes, looking to raise about $23.25 million. And their timing is interesting. It taps right into the growing demand from stricter environmental regulations like the Clean Air Act.
So they're funding expansion with that money.
That's the plan. They're targeting industrial hubs, Johor, Penang, Terengganu, where that demand is highest.
Okay, let's pivot to the international scene, because this next story is, well, it's a shockwave.
Yes, the U.S. Federal Reserve.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell received grand jury subpoenas from the Justice Department. Now, on paper, it's about building renovations.
But Powell isn't seeing it that way.
Not at all. He's framed it as political pressure, basically an attack on the Fed's interest rate policy.
And look, you just don't see a sitting Fed chair get a subpoena. It's unprecedented. The market reaction was instant.
What happened?
The U.S. dollar weakened immediately, and gold spiked to a record high. It sends a terrible signal about the central bank's independence.
And when that's in doubt, it just injects a huge amount of uncertainty and risk into the global markets.
A massive layer of risk, yes.
Okay, bringing it back home. The Attorney General has clarified the decision on Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's Yayasan Akal Budi case.
Right. It's been classified as no further action, and the AG says the case is now settled permanently.
And the justification given was a careful review of 6 representation letters that raised factual and legal issues.
The AG is citing powers under Article 145 of the Constitution to close the case. This explanation comes after civil society groups were questioning how the prima facie case that was already established in court could be, negated.
So that's the official reasoning now on the table.
It is.
And finally, sticking with the legal world, we heard some very strong words from the Chief Justice.
Yes, Datuk Seri Wan Ahmad Farid Wan Saleh.
He stated that judicial accountability is found in reasoned written judgments, not in responding to public attacks.
It's a very direct message.
Yeah.
He also warned judges to get their written grounds done promptly. His words were, you have to stand the heat to keep the wheels of justice from slowing down.
A clear line in the sand, then.
Absolutely. It's about reinforcing integrity and efficiency within the courts, especially after all the recent public scrutiny on some of these high-profile cases.
So that really wraps up our deep dive. From building new construction giants to these fundamental questions about legal certainty and even the independence of global central banks.
It really shows how connected everything is: corporate strategy, local law, and these big geopolitical shocks.
We hope this analysis was valuable. Be sure to subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.